In the quiet valleys of Italy, long after St. Francis of Assisi had left this world, his spirit still walked among the poor, the imprisoned, and the falsely accused. He, the humble servant of Christ who embraced poverty and peace, became the mighty protector of the miserable, the defender of the defenseless, and the liberator of the bound. There was a Greek servant in Romagna, accused unjustly of theft and cast into a dark, stinking dungeon by a harsh and stubborn lord. Bound in chains and with no one to hear his cries, his case seemed hopeless, except for one. The lady of the house, filled with compassion, believed in his innocence, but her husband would not listen. So she turned to a higher court, the court of heaven. She made a vow and prayed with tears to St. Francis, that great friend of the forgotten. That very night, as the servant sat in darkness, the dungeon door opened with a light no man could describe. A gentle hand reached down, touched his chains, and they fell. "I am he," said the figure, "to whom your mistress entrusted your cause." And with that, the saint led him to safety. In Massa, a poor man pleaded with a knight to show mercy over a debt. "For the love of St. Francis," he said, "give me time." But the knight scoffed. "Not Francis, not even God will save you," he spat, and threw him into a remote, locked dungeon. Yet even there the chains broke at the touch of an unseen hand. The door creaked open, and St. Francis led the man home. Over and over, this little brother of Christ walked where no one else could. In Arezzo, a man named Albert was imprisoned over false debts. With no food on the vigil of the saint's feast, he gave his last morsel to a beggar. That night St. Francis appeared. The chains fell. The doors opened. Albert was free, chastered. When Pope Gregory IX was sitting in the chair of St. Peter, a man named Peter was accused of heresy and chained in a dungeon so dark and cruel that no man could escape. He cried to St. Francis with all his heart. On the vigil of the saint's feast, a radiant figure appeared. "Peter," he said gently. The chains shattered. The doors swung open. Though afraid, Peter called for the guards, who were astounded. The bishop, seeing it with his own eyes, fell to his knees in awe. The chains were carried to the Pope himself. Even fire and boiling oil could not prevail where Francis intervened. Guido Lotto, accused of poison, was tortured with chains, fire, and boiling oil. Yet he was untouched, his innocence guarded by the one to whom he had entrusted his soul. Dear friends, these are not legends to be admired and forgotten. They are testimonies of what heaven does for those who cry out in faith. St. Francis is not only a figure of the past, he is still the chain breaker for those imprisoned in fear, false accusation, or despair. If you are bound by worry, injustice, illness, or sin, entrust yourself to the intercession of St. Francis of Assisi. He is a friend of the poor, a champion of the innocent, a light in the dark. Call upon him with faith and love, and you too may find that your chains fall, your doors open, and your heart is led by the hand to freedom. Pray and do not lose hope. St. Francis still walks with the suffering. Let him walk with you.